AI agent work advances, yet chat hides it. Google Cloud user research found that people prefer an integrated experience where the AI and results share one page, with results updating as the conversation refines them. When an agent returns only prose, users must remember what changed, what evidence supports it, and whether the action can be reversed. The conversation feels natural while the work state stays hidden. This episode turns co-browsing, comparison, attribution, user control, and graceful errors into an agent collaboration interface checklist that keeps state, evidence, control, and recovery visible. This video is packed with practical value to help you get better at using AI. It is a longer one, so follow Tiny Agent and save it for later. First, separate conversation from the work interface, so you can see why a chat window cannot carry a complex agent task by itself. Natural language is excellent for intent, context, and follow-up questions. Once the task changes a file, filter, result set, or system state, users also need to see that object. The source recommends clarifying questions when a query is ambiguous instead of guessing. One core job of conversation is to expose uncertainty and complete the request. If every change lives only in replies, users must reconstruct current state across many messages. Longer tasks make it easier to forget which conditions are active. A better split is simple. Conversation explains intent and reasons, while the main interface keeps the current object, active conditions, and latest result visible. Input can also combine voice, image, and text. But however natural the input becomes, output state still needs to land on an inspectable object. Do not treat human-like conversation as the acceptance test. Ask whether a user can identify current state, the latest change, and the next available action in 10 seconds. Chapter recap. First, conversation handles expression and clarification. Second, the work interface displays objects and state. Third, complex progress should not be reconstructed from chat history. Second, place the agent and work object on one page, so users can inspect change without switching back and forth. Google Cloud calls this co-browsing. The assistant and results share a page, and the results update as the user refines the request. For a general agent, that means showing the plan, file diff, filtered results, or task state next to the conversation instead of only saying done. After each action, mark what was added, removed, and changed, so one agent explanation maps to one visible update. In progress and complete must also be distinct. Started, waiting for input, failed, and accepted are 4 different states, not one generic spinner. On mobile, the source suggests bottom, side panel, or flyout placement and user control over when conversation appears, so chat does not push results away. Same page design is not information overload. Keep one primary object, one set of active conditions, and one latest change indicator. Chapter recap. First, the agent and results share one page. Second, every action maps to a visible change. Third, layout preserves the primary object and user control. Third, add evidence and comparison, so users can judge whether a visible change is worth accepting. The source says users strongly value side-by-side comparison because differences on one screen support decisions better than reading results one at a time. When an agent offers several options, replace 3 long paragraphs with one table of key fields, trade-offs, and unknowns. Attribution should sit near the claim. Google Cloud emphasizes product details, prices, and retailer links. General agent work also needs important judgments to lead back to evidence. Personalized results should explain why they appeared, such as which search or preference influenced them, and let users modify or reset that personalization. Clear labels matter too. Instead of an intelligent feature, name the job directly: shopping assistant, comparator, plan review, or file modification. The evidence region does not need the full chain of thought. It needs sources, differences, and uncertainty around the changes that matter. Chapter recap. First, side-by-side comparison supports decisions. Second, important claims connect to sources. Third, personalization and feature labels stay transparent. Fourth, return modification and reset controls to the interface, so an agent cannot keep helping while users lose the ability to correct it. The source explicitly recommends letting users modify or reset personalization. The same principle applies to any persistent agent condition that shapes results. Current filters, preferences, permissions, and goals should be visible. Hidden conditions make changed results harder to explain. Preview and confirm high-impact actions. Let low-risk adjustments apply immediately, but always make the change visible. Undo should state which object and version it restores, plus which external actions cannot actually be reversed. Users should also control when conversation opens. The mobile guidance reminds us that control includes attention and screen space. A good agent interface does not do everything for the user. It lets them pause, modify, confirm, and take over at any point. Chapter recap. First, persistent conditions stay visible and editable. Second, confirmation strength follows risk. Third, pause, undo, and takeover have honest boundaries. Finally, design error recovery, so the agent still offers a clear next step when it cannot understand, find a result, or complete an action. Google Cloud recommends more than a no results message, offer alternatives, intelligent suggestions, or a clarifying question to keep the interaction productive. For ambiguous input, identify the missing condition. For no matches, show the scope that was checked. Alternatives must state how they differ from the request, so users do not mistake a similar option for a complete match. When execution fails, preserve current state, the failure reason, and a safe retry path instead of clearing context. If a human must take over, hand off confirmed facts, unfinished steps, and risks instead of forwarding only the conversation transcript. Recovery has a simple test. Can the user see what failed, what stayed unchanged, and what they can do now? Screenshot this checklist and use it. State, evidence, control, recovery. Chapter recap. First, failures explain scope and cause. Second, alternatives expose their differences. Third, recovery preserves state and the next action. To summarize, collaboration quality depends on more than natural replies. Users also need to see the real work state. Place the agent and object together, support judgment with sources and comparison, then return modification, undo, and recovery to the user. For your next agent product, review state, evidence, control, and recovery before polishing another chat bubble. Which layer is most often missing from AI agent interfaces? State, evidence, control, or recovery? Share your answer in the comments. Follow Tiny Agent. Tiny Agent helps you get better at using AI.